If you've ever set your alarm for 5 a.m., dragged yourself out of bed like a zombie, chugged coffee like it's medicine, and still felt mentally useless by 2 p.m., you probably got that advice from somewhere. A book, a guru, a successful entrepreneur swearing that 5 a.m. changed their life. But here's what they didn't tell you. If you follow this advice long enough and it goes against your natural biology, you don't just get tired, you start believing something is wrong with you. Lazy, undisciplined, broken. That advice isn't just bad, it's accidentally cruel. In the next 9 minutes, I'll show you the exact biological signal that proves it. And you'll discover, with uncomfortable accuracy, which hours are wasted and which hours your brain was designed to work. Imagine you buy a high-performance sports car, 0 to 60 in under 4 seconds. Then an internet guru tells you, real drivers only fuel up between 5 and 7 a.m. So you set your alarm for 4:45, stumble to the gas station half asleep. But your engine is cold. The oil hasn't circulated. You floor it, and the car sputters. Your friend fuels up later, when the engine's warm, and flies. Same engine, same fuel, same driver. The only difference? When you press the gas. That's exactly what's happening with your brain. Let me tell you about John. John wanted to build something on the side. Nothing flashy, just something meaningful. He did what most people do. He looked for advice, and everywhere he turned, the message was the same. Wake up at 5 a.m. So John took that advice and joined the 5 a.m. club. 3 alarms, a sunrise lamp, phone across the room. Week 1, he felt disciplined, motivated, like he was finally doing things the right way. Week 2, by mid-afternoon, John wasn't productive. He was foggy. It's like trying to charge your phone with the wrong voltage. The cable fits, the outlet works, but the battery drains anyway. He was endlessly scrolling on his phone, irritable, constantly reaching for sugar just to feel normal. He felt like a failure. He assumed the problem was discipline. But it wasn't. John didn't have a discipline problem. John had a biology problem. In a second, I'll explain the 4 chronotypes. But if you've ever felt productive at night and guilty about it, don't click away. This part is for you. In John's case, he turned out to be what scientists call a wolf chronotype. Here's what productivity gurus never tell you. When they say everyone should wake up at 5 a.m., they're basically saying everyone should be 6 feet tall. Your chronotype is your biological schedule for when your brain works best. Only about 15 to 20% of humans are natural early risers. Quick gut check. If you had a week with no alarms, would you wake up energized before 7 a.m.? If the answer is no, you're not broken. You're normal. There are 4 chronotypes. Think of them like operating systems. Lions. The 15 to 20% of people who naturally wake early and do their best thinking before the world gets loud. Bears. The 50% of people who follow the sun, have steady energy through the day, and wind down naturally at night. Wolves. The 15 to 20% of people whose brains wake later and peak at night, but feel broken when trying to function early. And dolphins. The 10% of people who are highly intelligent light sleepers, often wired and tired, needing less sleep but better quality. Pause the video for 5 seconds and guess yours. It's not personality, it's hardware. Inside your brain is a cluster of neurons called the suprachiasmatic nucleus, your master clock. Your brain has a schedule, and alarms don't get a vote. Think of it like a factory. The machines don't care what time the manager arrives. This clock controls hormones, temperature, alertness, everything. When you wake naturally, your brain prepares gradually. Melatonin drops, temperature rises, cortisol ramps smoothly. It's like a professional kitchen warming up before dinner service. Everything has an order. But when an alarm pulls you out of sleep early, melatonin is still high, your body is cold, your stress hormones spike. It's like someone just threw a frozen chicken into a cold pan and screamed, "Cook faster."
Are you kidding me?
That awake but not alive feeling? That's circadian mismatch. Now add adenosine, the chemical that builds up while you're awake, like exhaust. Sleep clears it. Wake too early, and you start the day with the leftover exhaust. Coffee doesn't fix this. It just blocks the warning signal. Which is why, and this is the part that destroyed John for months, you can sleep 8 hours and still feel like you pulled an all-nighter. Same person, same goals, same sleep. Schedule A, wakes against biology, forces focus, crashes mid-afternoon. Schedule B, wakes aligned, works fewer hours, gets more done. Same brain, different timing. Here's how you fix this, and I'm going to make this so simple there's no excuse not to try it. For 3 days, observe when your focus naturally spikes. Rate it hourly, no judgment. That pattern is your biology talking. Then build around it. Early risers. Protect mornings. That's 5 a.m. to noon. Guard it. Midday types. Guard late mornings. 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. That's your window. Evening types. Stop apologizing for when your brain works. 7 p.m. to midnight. Own it. 4 non-negotiables. No matter your type. 1. Bright light within 30 minutes of waking. Sunlight or a 10,000 lux lamp. 2. Eat your biggest meal when insulin sensitivity peaks. For most people, that's your first meal. 3. Cut caffeine at least 10 hours before bed. Not a suggestion, a requirement. 4. Wind down before sleep. Dim lights, cool room, no screens. Stop copying people with different wiring. Their advice isn't wrong, it's just not for you. When John stopped fighting his schedule, something surprising happened. He didn't become more disciplined. He didn't work longer hours. He just stopped asking his brain to perform at the wrong time. Mornings became lighter. Planning, emails, low-pressure work, the kind of stuff that doesn't require genius. Then in the evening, it clicked. Focus came easier. Ideas flowed. Progress that used to take weeks started happening in hours. Within a few months, John finished a project he'd been stuck on for years. Same person, same effort, different timing. Here's your challenge. For the next 3 days, track when your focus hits a 7 or higher. Protect that window for 1 week. You'll accomplish more in that aligned week than in the last month of forcing yourself. Subscribe. Comment your chronotype: lion, bear, wolf, or dolphin. I want to see which one is most common. The early bird gets the worm. The night owl gets the mouse. Both succeed. They just hunt at different times.